Welcome to another episode of the INH show where we talk about geek culture, news, and lifestyle. It has been a while.
it took a woman to bring us back together. How about that? You know,
awesome.
Normally it's a woman that separates two guys, but now it's we've had a woman that brought us back together.
Yeah, I mean we've just taken some time off, been with our busy lives and stuff like that.
And we're in the new studio apartment.
Yeah. We haven't filmed here yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Jose, we fixed up the hole in the crack in the wall for you.
Cool. But as you guys guessed, we will be hopefully filming a little bit more here on in. And also, well, firstly, I wanted to announce that we are going overseas. We will be going. Actually, you can announce this, right?
Yes, we're going to be at Baltimore Comic Con. We're going to be at Fan Expo Toronto in September.
Yeah.
End of August, September.
End of
and then
August,
Baltimore
September, yeah. mid September.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
If you guys are at that convention, please say hello to the INH show. You might be on our channel. How about that?
We will be doing some filming when we're walking around and stuff like that, so it'll be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, last time we went overseas for a US convention was 2013, I believe, New York.
It's been too long.
And Vegas, so it's time. But anyways,
let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So we just saw Wonder Woman, the premiere of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And so let's get stuck into it. Spoiler free first. I highly recommend it. I think it's a great movie. I'm a fan, so I'm a bit biased. I'm a lot biased.
Okay.
So yes, go out and watch the movie. Do you recommend it?
It's hard for me to say.
Why is it hard for you to say?
Because so I'm going to say my spiel on it, and then we'll get into it a little bit more, right?
Yeah, spoiler free.
I'll try to do as spoilers free as I can. Wonder Woman overall, I think it was good. I guess. I mean, mind you, I want to say that my Facebook feed, my social feed, everyone's been like, "Oh my god, it's amazing! Oh my god, it's amazing! It's amazing!" And that's great. My expectations were still low. Okay, I just want to be clear about that. With that, went in there. Came out of it a little bit confused as to why everyone went on about how amazing it is. I think it is good for a DC film in comparison to all the other stuff they've done, but I don't think it's as good as a good Marvel film. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
and
I don't disagree with that necessarily, but
I think that's why I didn't walk out of it going, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Now, are you a Wonder Woman fan at all?
I only have the very basic idea, or I've read basic storylines of it. I probably haven't read it as much as you have. Like, you obviously have recommended to me the Cliff Chang, Azzarello.
The absolute,
that one, yes.
The new 52 post-Flashpoint one.
So I've been told that's really good by you and a handful of other people as well. I haven't read it yet myself. But
okay, so you have a passing familiarity with the character.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I am quite biased, and I guess the other thing worth noting is that you weren't overly in awe of what you saw from BVS, from Gal Gadot's
no.
portrayal of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Well, so just to clarify, I didn't think it was as big a deal as everyone made it out to be. Like, when she showed up as Wonder Woman and the music started, like, with the guitars and stuff like that, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, it's amazing!" I was like, "What are you talking about? I don't understand what's happening right now." Like, it's an introduction of the character, but I don't think it's as amazing as everyone. You know what I mean?
Well, she was the bright spot in an otherwise sour movie.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so but fair to say you'd recommend it, right? As per usual.
I think everyone has to go to watch it to make up in their minds about it. But by all means, would I say that it's an amazing movie? You have to watch it. It's perfect for a Wonder Woman film at all. I just want to say
it is or it isn't.
It is not.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I think it's perfect for a Wonder Woman film. But
I guess we can get into it a little bit more now, right?
Yeah. Well, so we'll get into it now. So that's spoiler free. Go watch it. And of course, we're two guys, so we don't see it from the perspective of a female. Like a female.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair.
But we do recommend it. I think I can speak for both of us when we say
cool.
that.
And
now, spoiler territory. Or do you have any last minute things you want to?
Just very quickly, I want to clarify that I really wanted this movie to be good. Like, I really wanted this movie to be good. I really did. Okay, but let's just get into it. Go.
Okay. Well, I think it's a good movie. All right.
Okay.
I think it is. I think so. We're in spoiler territory.
Yep.
I think it's a great movie until it becomes a Zack Snyder movie in the last act of the movie.
Okay.
The last third.
Makes perfect sense to me.
I thought the Themyscira, I thought the Amazons, I thought all of that was great.
That was amazing. That's what I loved about it.
Yeah, so
but that was
it
like the
started
first
great.
thing only.
Yeah, I guess. Well, even the first ending when she's playing off Steve Trevor, Chris Pine.
Yep.
I thought that was a lot of fun as well.
Okay.
And then it becomes this Zack Snyder movie, and
Okay.
my biggest worry with this movie was that it was going to be this CGI assault to the senses at the end, and it kind of. That's kind of what it happened.
It was.
So
That's exactly. Well, even with that, I mean, so when they were in Themyscira and all that sort of stuff, I thought overall when they had the actors standing there on set and you can tell that it was, CG in the background, that was okay. But what I found really distracting was the action scenes. For example, there was one scene where one of the Amazonians went down, grabbed an arrow or a shield or whatever it is from a horse, and the action sort of scenes and start. It felt really terrible CG. Like for me,
the CG wasn't great. I don't think it didn't, but
yeah, exactly,
you probably got a more keen eye to it. So
not necessarily, but I just didn't like it. It was like what?
Well,
I
it looked too much like a cartoon, or what?
Yeah, it looked terribly CG. You know what I mean? But when they were just walking down and all that sort of stuff, it wasn't so bad. Does that make sense? I don't know what
I think I know what you're trying to say. I mean, the CG wasn't the sharpest.
That's exactly what it is.
But I think it's fine. I thought all the stuff, the Amazons, the way they're training and all, I thought that was all great.
The training was good. Yeah.
Let's get into Gal Gadot's performance as Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Now, do you have any, now that you've seen her headlining her movie,
okay,
do you have any thoughts one way or another? Did she sell you? Did she confirm that she's Wonder Woman, or do you still feel she's got proving to do?
So for me, the action scenes, I can honestly say we spoke about this a couple of years ago, that I was worried about her looking like Wonder Woman because she was so skinnier, she's not buff, you know what I mean, that sort of thing. But I gotta say, in the action scenes where she's walking around fighting and stuff like that, she actually pulled it off. I was convinced. Like when she was going around smashing people, ducking, all that sort of stuff. I was convinced enough, but the problem for me is Gal Gadot is too beautiful. So distractingly beautiful, it almost... Sometimes I would be watching during the film, and I'll be like, "Oh, cosplayer," and I was like, "Wait, no, this is a Wonder Woman movie." Do you know what? It pulled me out a little bit.
I didn't have that at all. I still think she's far too small to be Wonder Woman because I'm looking for someone who is a bit broader. I'm not saying that she's got to be like a bodybuilder or anything like that.
No, but
that's
you know what I mean, though, right?
Well, that's the version of Wonder Woman I have in my mind. So I still don't think she has the look quite down, and I guess I'm still stuck in that, fanboy, it has to look a certain way.
Yeah. No, that's
fair.
But
I'll say that I think Gal Gadot, first of all, I think I really want to say that they got the character spot on. In my opinion, this is the version of Wonder Woman, Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel. They are very unrecognizable to me as Batman and Superman. But this version of Wonder Woman, she had the innocence, she had the
innocence, pat down,
and she had the compassion, and she had the she's obviously hot, and they even mention it. Etta Candy's like, how do you pretend she's not the most, the hottest woman, the most beautiful woman ever?
Right.
But she still doesn't quite have the face. She's got this very exotic quality, and I think it's also funny that how she speaks with a fairly thick accent.
Yeah.
And
but I like that.
Well, I thought they had a very clever workaround. They're not like, oh, you speak English. She goes, yeah, we speak English, and we speak all these other. So to me,
that's very cool.
To me, I can say that. Well, sure, they've got this weird accent because they can speak all these languages, and all the Amazonians have to speak Gal Gadot's accent as well. Like Robin Wright and what is it, Connie Nielsen have to put on that Israeli accent.
I thought it worked out well.
But I thought she had the mannerisms and all that. The look. There's that scene where she goes, who's that Scottish guy? We'll get into those guys.
Charlie's the character in the film itself.
Okay.
I don't know the actor's name.
She's like, oh, well, Charlie, who's going to sing for us?
Yeah, that's right.
And she conveys this look. Yeah. It's one thing to be hot and beautiful and attractive, but she conveyed the look that Wonder Woman should have had in that smile and the way that she looked.
Yeah.
So I thought they got the character pretty much
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did justice to the character.
I just personally found that she was a bit too distracting. And you can't blame anything. You can't be like, "Oh, I blame you because you're too beautiful." You can't do that, right? But it was distracting for me. And there were at times where I was like, "She looks like a cosplayer." You know what I mean? You get what I'm sort of saying? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
I'm sure you're not the only one has that sentiment.
But the character, I think she pulled up the character as best as she can to her ability. Like I said, fighting scenes, hands down, I'm not even going to complain about that at all.
Yeah, but I think the fighting scenes, so like any big budget action movie, anyone can look good doing it. So it's like, to me, I'm not as critical of that. I was just very surprised, shocked almost that she pulled off this version of Wonder Woman.
Maybe what it was for me with the fighting or the action scenes is the choreography for me was really cool. It looked cool. It looks flashy and cool.
Yeah,
whether it's realistic or unrealistic, that's a different story altogether, right? But,
well, the stuff that the Amazons were doing, I think, was just so. Give me that movie. Give me 2 hours of Amazon's training and.
I did have a problem though. The only problem I had was there was a lot of bullet time in there. A lot of bullet time.
Well, they slowed things down, they speed it up, and then it's I think it was
a lot of it, and it was almost too much for me.
It was getting close to the point where it's getting overplayed, in my opinion. I think it was fine.
Okay.
But it was. Yeah, you're right. It's nothing. It didn't bring anything new to it.
No, I mean, even the last scene, and we're like you said, we're in spoiler territory. The last fight scene as well with Ares.
Mm-hmm. Was there any bullet time in that?
There was bullet time in that. Bits and pieces that were bullet time in that, and then the very last bit where she like jumps in the air and she does the electricity. It just looked, and then even the very last bit where she's back in London and she jumps forward towards the screen, it just looks so fake. The CG was, that put me off. That is like.
Well, that was when to me that was when it becomes this Zack Snyder movie where it's all dark and it's so washed out. It's just special effects for the sake of special effects.
Yeah, so that's where it sort of lost me a little bit, I guess.
What about Steve Trevor, Chris Pine?
I thought he played it all right. I'm not familiar.
I'm
not familiar with the Steve Trevor.
Well, you know the thing with Steve Trevor is that there's been so many different versions of Steve Trevor.
Right.
So
okay.
You know they had a bit of flexibility with him. I thought.
Again, spoiler territory. He dies. He sacrifices himself. Does that actually happen in the books? I don't recall that ever happening.
He's still walking around.
That's what I thought.
Stuff,
okay. Because he did a JLA. Well, in the New 52, he summed that team together, right?
Yeah, well, he was
recruited.
Yeah.
But that's obviously another. What is it? Timeline? No, not timeline, but another dimension.
That's their continuity. Whatever you want to say.
Okay, cool. So that was real. I found that really odd because that's.
Did you like the relationship between? Well, first of all, sorry, we'll go back a little bit, but it's set in the past, so I don't think he would have been alive in Batman vs Superman time. You know, so Chris Pine, one way or another, is not going to show up unless it's like a flashback.
Okay, that makes sense.
So to me, that didn't bother me too much.
Can I just ask?
I'll miss him. But,
I'm going to quickly ask you, the Charlie character.
Mm-hmm, the Scottish guy.
He was useless. He didn't do anything.
There were a lot of things in this movie that I thought were fairly useless.
He was so useless. He literally
What do you
didn't do anything.
What do you think about the whole band of Howling Commandos that she has?
Is that what it was? Because that felt like the Marvel's version of, like Happy Hogan and all those guys.
Yeah. But
it's like they're trying to do that version of it, but
it seems to me that this was just it was done in service of giving the character something to, because she's just walked into man's world and she's understanding, well, this Charlie guy has this, he sees ghosts and that sort of thing.
Yeah, he's a sniper, but he doesn't really do anything. He doesn't take a shot, and then later on he just literally is just running around doing nothing. Like the whole team felt a bit useless to me.
Yeah, well, that's what I was getting to. Yeah, they were fairly.
Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman herself, literally the rest of them is just like. It
was just they I guess develop a character, I guess.
Yeah, it did, that wasn't like it didn't do.
Speaking of useless, like there was one scene. Do you remember the scene in when she meets Ares? So they reveal who Ares is, right?
Yep.
And Ares has a little bit of a monologue, and she's gonna kill him.
Yep.
So she reaches back to get a sword, and it's not there.
Right.
So what happens? Well, she just goes up, grabs it, and comes back down.
But obviously they don't show her going up. But she's coming back down.
But that was silly. Like, it made it look a little bit silly to me. I thought they did that for the sake of cutting away to the...
Here's the thing. Let me throw this at you, okay? This is a bit of a curveball. Do you think maybe they edited a lot of parts out of it? Like, there must be a component of continuity there for her to go up or go down, or even with Charlie, maybe there's something in there in a director's cut. So,
are you saying that DC is going to release a director's cut, an extended cut?
That's a question mark.
They never do that, do they? They didn't do that for Batman vs Superman. They didn't do that with Suicide Squad.
But do you know what I mean? Like maybe there are certain elements that they have to cut out.
Possibly, maybe.
It would make more sense.
That part of the movie kind of. For me, that was the weaker part. The climax just didn't work for me.
Okay.
So I thought they were a little bit weak. I thought Chris Pine, like I said, was great. I thought the relationship was great. I thought that the progression of their storyline was it was better. I'd say it's easily as good as Peggy and Steve in Captain America in the first Avenger.
I need to ask you a question as well. Her being the God Killer opposed to the Sword, is that legit? Is it not legit?
Well, I know that there is a God Killer sword. Maybe someone can inform us because I'm not all that well read in the.
Okay. I was just curious if it's
But look, Wonder Woman's got a lot of. I thought they handled her origin really well because the original Wonder Woman, or the I think post-Crisis Wonder Woman, is made of clay.
Made of clay.
Is that the version that you know?
That's the version that I know.
Yeah,
she was made of clay by
Apollo made her, and then she got the gods breathed life into her.
Okay,
but she was made from clay, right?
Okay, she was made from clay. Okay,
and then the other versions of Wonder Woman, like she's the daughter of Zeus.
Right.
So they kind of reference both of those.
Okay. So did they sort of merge them together?
Well, they kind of reference because they said that you are I sculpted you from clay.
Yep.
As for her being the God Killer, I mean, did you see that twist coming along or anything like that?
I didn't see the twist coming along, but at the same time, when they sort of basically said I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I was just like, okay, let's keep it going now.
Yeah, well.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a shock or anything like that.
I mean, it wasn't really designed to be a big of a twist by any means. Speaking of the action, I want to also really comment that the No Man's Land scene I thought was great. It was very cinematic.
Like
yeah,
it was cinematic.
You're gonna say it's cheesy, right? It's corny or something.
So
I knew you were gonna say that.
I think that's what it is.
It's the big moment,
it felt like the whole film was just so cheesy, and the amount of jokes, like the whole thing about like she's beautiful, she's so hot. Who is she? They had that sort of joke with the Steve Trevor and all that sort of stuff. I knew they were going to go for that, the fish out of water sort of.
But that's the character.
But
they
kept on doing it to the point where it's overdoing it. No?
Yeah, possibly.
I felt that way.
It wasn't too bad for me. I mean, that is the character. She is this kind of fish out of water, navigating into man's world.
Okay.
But I thought the action there was great. I thought the village scene was great. And she's whipping around with the lasso. Are you going to say that's cheesy?
No. I gotta say for the lasso, I think I can't.
Because that to me looked very digital, and
it was definitely digital.
Okay, I thought you were going to complain about that.
The physics of like the lasso whipping around in the air and stuff like that, like. You know what? For it to be seen in comic books to a film, I think that's how it should have been done.
Well, I'm not sure they could do it any other way.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't have a problem with that. I guess.
I think it is, and again, we can't comment because we're two guys. So every time we see movies with superheroes, but I'm sure for plenty of the female audience to see a strong character who wasn't a damsel in distress, and she was handled really well. I gotta say
that was one thing I was super happy about, is that she could handle her own. You know what I mean? Like even her picking up the tank or the car, just like that sort of stuff. I was like, yes. I did actually feel like that. Yes, she's a badass.
And that's good. And I think that's the thing with Wonder Woman. I think she should be able to reach you emotionally like that.
Yeah.
And that's why this movie is such a big success. Really quickly, let's finish up on the villains.
Yep.
Dr. Poison and Danny Houston. I forget the guy's name. The German guy.
Right.
Well, you know who he is, right? But
I do, but didn't really
Did you like him?
I didn't really care much for him at all.
Yeah.
Dr. Poison, I was a little bit more
Dr. Poison was pretty cool, I thought.
Where are they going to go with this? But then at the end, she sort of didn't go anywhere.
Well, it's not like they can't do much with it because she's not going to show up in the... Unless she invents like some... Oh, you know what? She could have made some immortal serum. I would have been done for that. Then you could see her in a Justice League movie. But one scene that kind of rubbed me the wrong way is that there's a bit where they're talking about the armistice.
Okay.
And then they kind of cast Danny Houston out of the room. And then so Dr. Poison comes in and throws the gas bomb, whatever.
Yep.
And he throws in like the gas mask.
Yep.
And she goes, oh, well, why did you throw the gas mask? It's not going to save him. And he goes, oh, but they don't know that. And it's like giggling like little schoolgirls.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of, in Austin Powers when Dr. Evil has his group and they're like...
Yeah. It was kind of like that.
That's what it felt like.
Because the movie is otherwise pretty... It's handled... quite with a serious tone, I thought. So I thought that was a little bit unusual.
Okay.
And Ares, I thought Ares was fine.
I mean...
I think he looked the part. Externally he looked the part, but to have this like English mustache was a little bit much.
He had that goofball face underneath that mask. It looked weird, man. It was for me. It almost looked like this armor was really cool looking.
Yeah,
but
everything on the outside was great. And he was pulling that. I thought that was cool.
I
that
thought
was
he
all.
would at least like his
Change his face, yeah, like
would morph or something,
or just like go black and just give us the red eyes or something.
That's exactly what I was
make him a real god.
But also I gotta say, towards that fighting scene with Ares, the last battle, it felt very much like the only thing that went through my mind is like, this is like a PlayStation 4 game right now. I feel like I'm playing God of War.
PlayStation 4? This is more like PlayStation 7, man. Like with the quality of graphics that we were getting.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right? It feels like a game. Like it feels like a console game. It doesn't feel like a movie anymore. It feels like a cut.
I don't know. To me, it felt like. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No, all I was gonna say is, to me, it felt like a cutscene in a game.
To me, it felt like a Zack Snyder movie where there was just no heart to it. It was just action, and then shoot. That was my big problem with it.
Okay, so after saying all of that, and we're wrapping it up now. Do you still recommend it?
I still recommend it. I still highly recommend it, in fact. Because, again, I am biased, but they got the character right, and to me, that goes a long way. Okay. You know the original, not the original, the Turtles movie, the recent one?
Yeah.
Which was produced by Michael Bay or whatever.
Okay.
I thought I recommend that one because they got the Turtles right. The storyline was pretty by the numbers.
Of each
yeah. They got the relationship, they got the characters right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got Wonder Woman's character shockingly, for me anyway, they did it so well that for that reason you should watch it.
So if the character wasn't right, let's just take the character out of context of it. Story-wise,
that's a hard question. I mean, story-wise as a film, I think it's still fine because like it's an origin story, and they weren't going to break new grounds. Like almost every Marvel movie to me is fairly ordinary. The only thing that keeps, not the only thing, but one of the big things with the Marvel movies is that the characters are so well cast and they're so well written.
They are.
The tone is so good. And again, look, I know we can't compare Marvel and DC, but looking at this movie, it's hard because they're both
superheroes. The same, right?
Yeah,
they're in the sort of
But when you look at the movies, it's just a whole world of difference. And maybe DC's always been like that. I don't know. Maybe Marvel's always been the fun sort of book. Maybe you guys could tell us. But that being said, I still think that this is a very strong movie. I look forward to Justice League. I look forward to Wonder Woman 2. Do you look forward to Justice League at all?
I'm worried.
Worried?
I'm worried.
I have a little bit more hope now that I've seen Wonder Woman.
Now, just to clarify again, I want all these movies to be good. Like, I really want them to be good. I'm done. Like,
you can want them to be bad. One's gonna want
I don't want it to be bad. Like, I want it to be good. Anything to do with like comic book movies, all that sort of stuff. I want them to be good. But man, DC's like making it tough to like it. I mean, Wonder Woman, like I said, is the best of the DC films. But I don't think it's as good on par with, let's say, Guardians.
The recent from like the Man of Steel forward is what you're talking about.
Right, yeah. But I wouldn't say it's as good as Guardians of the Galaxy 1, that sort of thing.
That's a high benchmark. I mean, how do you compare it to like Iron Man 2, for example?
Iron Man 2 is not as bad as I remember it to be, but I would probably rank it, out of all of it, that was probably towards my bottom section of the Marvel series, like the whole films.
Many people would say that.
I would probably put it around that area.
Well, I think Wonder Woman is... It's hard to rate this movie because, again, I am pretty biased to it and I wanted to like it, and maybe I'm blinded because they got... I will enjoy a movie, even if it's terrible, if there's one little bit like Dark Knight Rises. The last 10 minutes of the movie, I think, washes out the other however long the movie was.
Okay, fair.
Well, let us know what you think. Comment below. Like our videos, share them around with your buddies. Let us know what you think about Wonder Woman. And
I guess we'll catch you guys next time.
We'll see you on the next INH show.